NASCAR's top 3 National Series kick off next week at Daytona.
But you can catch a handful of drivers this week as they take to the short tracks.
And these Cup Series rookies build anticipation to either surprise or disappoint.
And how about some cold, hard cash? We'll tell you who to bet on and who to stay away from for the 2024 season.
We'll take you around the track next.
Welcome to Around the Track. I'm Kim Coon, joined by Ryan Flores, tire changer for the number 12 Ford Mustang in the NASCAR Cup Series. And we still have one more week till things kick off at Daytona. So you get to kind of relax again. Yeah,
one more week off, but I'm ready to get the speed weeks after watching that 12 car go from 23rd to the podium this week. And all those tempers flaring down there in hard racing. I'm excited to get the season kicked off. Yeah,
Blaney did a good job. And the good news is, even though NASCAR's top 3 series aren't on track this weekend, that doesn't mean there's a shortage of racing.
Yeah, a lot of short track racing kicks off at speed weeks down there in Florida, and especially the World Series of Asphalt Racing at New Smyrna, which kicks off 9 nights this Friday.
Well, Ryan, as a short track racer yourself, you've got to be excited for all the action down in Florida.
Yeah, I can't wait to get down there. My favorite race of the weekend, the John Blewett Memorial 76. I grew up working for John, so it's a race that's near and dear to my heart, so I'm excited to get down there and cheer for his buddy Jimmy Blewett. And then the Richie Evans Memorial on Friday night is always really big. For the late models, the Clyde Hart Memorial Tuesday night. I heard Chase Elliott might even be there in the ASA late model, so a lot to see at New Smyrna.
Yeah, we're going to see some Cup Series and other drivers sprinkled in there down at New Smyrna. Why are they running these races?
Yeah, just to get back behind the wheel of a car. We saw Ryan Preece kind of lay out of the modified a lot of last year to focus more on his Cup career. But the end of the year, he gets back in his modified, goes to win at Martinsville, and you could see him and the ever-popular Landon Huffman in the modifieds. You look at the late models, Chase Elliott, Ty Majeski, son of Travis Kvapil, Caden Kvapil. Pretty exciting to see who's down there.
Yeah, I love seeing Tody Breininger and Katie Hedinger on that list too. So a lot of familiar faces that are going to be racing at New Smyrna. What's the atmosphere like?
It's great. It is just quintessential short track. It's really easy to bring your kids to. Always good souvenirs at New Smyrna, and really get close to the action, and it's a great place to watch. And you get so many different series, whether it be the modifieds, the late models, pro late models, 602 crate modifieds now. The Florida modifieds, you get to see so much racing. Very action-packed for just, any night you choose.
For the fans that aren't making the trek down to Florida, where can they catch the action?
Your Flow Racing app is going to be your best friend this week. I know I'll be glued to it. The racing at New Smyrna starts at 7:30 every night. Night 2 is specific to the ground pounders of the Whelen Modified Tour, so man, I'm excited to get my fill of racing after a long off season.
Yeah, well, you want to check all the action out at New Smyrna, but that's not the only thing happening down in Florida. Volusia Speedway Park has a lot going on with the Dirt Car Nationals at Volusia, and there's going to be even more NASCAR stars there. Why are these folks wanting to race dirt?
I'll tell you what, that's one of the most competitive fields I've ever been to, and most of our guys are running the UMP Modifieds. Justin Allgaier, Kenny Wallace, Justin Haley, Matt Crafton. I built a UMP Modified. We took it to Volusia with Joey Logano a couple of years ago, and it is the most competitive field. Over 90 cars were there.
I love that list because you're hitting kind of every generation of race fans. So you've got the old school race fans, so the Schrader fans, the Kenny Wallace. And Volusia, by the way, means a lot to Kenny. He won his first NASCAR race there back when it was still asphalt. And then you look at Casey Kane, he's kind of that, in-between time. And then stars that they can see at the track once NASCAR's top series go over to Daytona.
Yeah, and one of my favorites, Stuart Friesen, the big block dirt modifieds. Being a Northeast guy myself, I'm excited to get there and see him duke it out with Matt Shepard. Volusia Speedway Park hosts 5 different divisions spread out between 2 weeks. You can catch all of that action live on Dirt Vision.
And we hope all the short track action gets you geared up for the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. And with a new season, it means it's time to place your bet. So the big question headed into 2024 is who will be hoisting the cup at the end of the year in Phoenix.
Blaney, Harvick, they spin behind him. Blaney gets the win at Talladega. Ryan Blaney is going to win his way into the championship 4. He wins at Martinsville. Ryan has just crested the mountain of all wins. Ryan Blaney is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Thank you guys.
It's time for Easy Money with E, which means I'm joined by Erica Davis, our resident sports betting analyst and expert. And she's remote in LA, so I got to ask, what's the weather like, Erica?
Thanks for asking, Kim. The weather is crazy, insane, raining, flooding, mudslides, and great call by NASCAR for changing the clash because it's no joke out here. People pick at us about complaining about the rain, but it's pretty serious.
Well, we hope you're staying safe. And the NASCAR Cup Series doesn't kick off officially until next week at Daytona, which gives fans the opportunity to maybe make some future bets before things get rolling. So what are we looking at in terms of futures?
So Kim, this is one of my favorite spots. Futures can stress you out because you have to hold the bet slip in your hand all season, but also it can be like a fun way to stay active in the sport. So my very first set of futures bets for the 2024 season are the NASCAR Cup Series Championship futures. Now, right now at the top of the odds board, we have 5 of the sport's superstars. Now, before I give you guys my best bets for my way too early futures picks, I gotta let you know the method to my madness. When I make my futures picks for the Cup Series Championship, I basically sprinkle a little cash on several of the ones at the top of the odds board because if you put $10 on each of these, most likely one of these drivers is going to end up being in victory lane at the end of the season. So, for example, $10 on Blaney wins you 60, 10 on Larson wins you 65, 10 on Byron wins you 70, 10 on Hamlin wins you 80, 10 on Elliott wins you 90. So it's not exactly like the best high yield savings account plan, but at least you won't lose money if one of them wins.
I think that's a good top 5. I'm not going to give away my cards yet, but Ryan and I are going to make some championship 4 picks later in the show, and quite a few faces you're going to hear me repeat.
Kim, can I also give you my long shot pick?
Yeah, let's hear
Now,
them.
with the long shot picks, like there's not a perfect way to hedge these. I mean, after all, that's why they are actually long shot picks. But I'm just going to give you 3 kind of, to make it fun. Bubba Wallace. I mean, I'm always rooting for Bubba. He made it to the round of 12 last year before getting eliminated. This could maybe be the year that, this is his year to actually win and get into the championship 4. He's at plus 3,000 right now. And then Barry at plus 6,500. If there is one rookie to watch, it would be Barry. And finally, Michael McDowell at plus 20,000. He had 1 win last year, and granted, this is a super, super long shot. So just know, guys, that this bet is more about just covering our bases in the event that McDowell ends up catching heat this year. I just want to make sure we're covered.
Well, the good news is there's an additional road course in the 10 championship races, so McDowell might actually be a good future bet. So now that we have that down, what else can people be placing bets on before the season kicks off?
That's where season win total over-unders come into play. Now, when it comes to season win total over-unders, I'm the kind of bettor who likes to take a minus 125 or a minus 150 or lower if I can get it, in addition to taking something at plus money. And the reason I do that is because if something is minus 150, you can almost rest assured that that bet will hit. And then that leaves me feeling a little bit better about throwing a few bucks on somebody's odds at plus 200, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Let's start off with Larson. I am taking his over of 3.5 wins at minus 150. Larson got into victory lane 4 times last year. At minus 150, you would need to bet $100 to get a total payout of 166, but Larson will not let us down. And then finally, Blaney, over 2.5 wins at plus 100. I'm very, very surprised that books have him at plus money to get over 2.5 wins. And he is one of my best bets to win the Cup, and he is one of my best bets to get over 2.5 wins at plus 100.
Some really great information today. Thank you so much, Erica. We look forward to seeing you back in studio next week with us. You're going to give us your Daytona 500 picks.
Take your pick.
My gut feeling tells me
I've already put him in the garage.
If they can execute, they can pull off a win. That's who I'm going to pick.
And there's fun to be had each week without any money being put down. We're going to help you set up your NASCAR fantasy lineup each week with a must-have, a black flag, a Hail Mary, and a garage pick.
Yeah, and this week we're going to remind you of the rules and refresh your memory on how to play. First off, you select 5 drivers and 1 garage pick. These picks must be made before the drop of the green flag each and every week.
And don't forget to make those changes, because if you do forget your starting lineup, it's going to remain the same for the next week as long as those drivers still have starts. And you don't want that to happen because you only get to use each driver 10 times in the regular season. Here's the important part though. Those starts refresh when the playoffs start.
Yeah, I've heard you forgot the last couple of years that it resets there.
I did, yeah.
But that being said, you got to pick your drivers carefully. And during the race, you can still make moves. You can take your garage driver and swap him out for one of your starters, but it has to be done before the final stage. So, for instance, if you pick Kyle Busch and he's just having a dismal day, you can go to the garage and maybe you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who's having a great day. You put him in, and you're able to salvage some points.
This is where you can beat us because neither of us have the time on pit road before the final stage to make the garage pick switch out.
Yeah, they would not be happy if I was plugging in my garage driver during the race.
Same here. And if you're in need of extra points, make sure to pick the winning driver of 4 weekly featured head-to-head matchups. This is going to earn you an additional 10 extra points, so very key.
Yeah, and you can go to NASCAR.com/fantasy to create your team and join a league. Make sure you do it before we head to Daytona.
It's decision time, NASCAR fans. Who gets you the points? Who gets you the wins? Who gets you the bragging rights? Who gets you the championship? Sign up and play today at NASCAR.com/fantasy.
Heading to Daytona, we'll see 3 rookies in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, and these guys are no strangers to the Cup Series, but they will be making their full-time debut in 2024. But Josh Berry with 12 starts, Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith both have 9 starts.
Yeah, there's your look at the 2024 rookie class for the NASCAR Cup Series. Josh Berry, he went winless in the Xfinity Series last season, so I'm curious to see what his mentality is headed into 2024 in the Cup Series.
Yeah, he's a 5-time winner of the Xfinity Series. Like you said, he went winless last year. Personally, I think he's going to have the toughest time because he's filling some big shoes, and this team is built around Kevin Harvick. Stuart Haas's struggles were documented well last year, so we'll see how he does filling that role.
Yeah, big shoes to fill. I do think he'll be the most consistent of the 3. You look at Zane and Carson, the maturity level, I'm not sure it's there, especially with Carson. He has made gains in that department, but we still see him making on-track mistakes decision-making wise. He did impress lots of people with his Cup Series starts in 2023. And then Zane, I'm just excited for. We saw the emotion when they announced this Trackhouse deal, although he'll be farmed out to Spire. He had tears in his eyes as he announced what his dream is to race full-time in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar last year, a lot of headlines, both good and bad. So we get to watch him mature right in front of our eyes. Zane Smith, a champion of the sport. He always seems to make his teams better, put them in contention. So I'm excited to see what him and Steve Dorn and those guys that they've assembled, that Trackhouse/Spire team together. So we'll see if that helps and what he's able to do.
What's the jump going to be like for these drivers from Xfinity and Truck into Cup, especially for Carson and Zane, because they never raced a full-time Xfinity Series schedule. They're essentially making the jump directly from Truck.
Yeah, the competitiveness of both series are they've gotten closer over the years. And the Truck Series, man, it's been very challenging. We see new winners all the time, and the depth of the Truck Series has just gotten deeper and deeper. But as my buddy Corey LaJoy likes to say, welcome to the show. This is the show, and it is a big jump. Well, I mean, I see people talk about college to NFL, like about that jump. There's a lot of people making a lot of money at the Cup level to figure out how to beat you. And the schedule's quite a bit more grueling, so it can really beat you down if you get on the wrong side of it. So I'm excited to see what these guys do.
Yeah, and there were a lot of surprises in 2023. Maybe these rookies will surprise us in 2024.
I think this is the year Denny Hamlin finally gets the job done all the way through.
Checkered flag, Byron.
Awesome job, Pete.
The 25-year-old is going to win at Texas. Buscher, he goes back-to-back. He'll win in Michigan. Michael McDowell comes onto the front stretch at Indy. The 38-year-old is going to win at Indianapolis.
Bubba Wallace finishes 16th, not enough to get you to the next round.
Oh, into the wall hard goes Ryan Blaney off the nose of Ty Gibbs, and the big one happens behind him.
Last season, we saw William Byron and Rudy Frugel take that 24 car to victory lane 6 times. It was a breakout season for them, a surprise for many, but not for some. Who has a surprising season this year?
Ooh, this year. I haven't decided who it's going to be, but I do think we're going to see a driver have a 7-win season. We've kind of been building. We saw Chase Elliott have a 5-win season in 2022. William Byron, to your point, a 6-win season last year. So I think third year of the next-gen car, somebody's going to have a 7-win season. Right now, I'm kind of juggling between William Byron and Kyle Larson.
Okay, so I'm going to play off that third year of the next-gen car. It's also the third year of 2311.
Oh, okay.
So I am excited for Tyler Reddick. I think that he is a guy that can go in there and win 7 races. He's got the pace. He's got this team behind him. They're maturing. So I look for Tyler Reddick to go the distance.
Oh, okay. Well, as we look back on last year, I think some other big people that surprised me that could have good seasons, Michael McDowell, RFK. Is Brad going to finally get to victory lane?
I think this is the year they break through.
As we talk about drivers who have not been to victory lane in a long time, I think one of the big disappointments for 2023 was Stewart-Haas Racing not getting to victory lane at all. Bold prediction here, I think it's going to be 2 straight seasons. I think they're going to be the big disappointment for 2024 is back-to-back years of no wins for Stewart-Haas Racing.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but losing Kevin Harvick is a big deal. And the guy, when I think about disappointments, is Chase Elliott. And I'm excited to see how this 9-team rebounds, led by Alan Gustafson and Chase, see what they do to right the ship and get themselves in the playoffs, because they missed it for the first time in their career last year.
You could say that Chase Elliott has maybe something to prove. So let's talk about drivers that have something to prove. For me, that's Daniel Suarez. He went winless on 2023. I don't want to say he's in the hot seat, but you're seeing Trackhouse kind of amass this roster of drivers. Yeah. He has to be feeling the pressure. Yeah, and Suarez, gets a new crew chief with Matt Swiderski. I've worked with him a bunch. Squid, we love him. And, it's tough. You see your teammate win, and Ross Chastain won Nashville, he won Phoenix, 2 huge wins, and they didn't find victory in the last year. And when I think about teammates winning, I think about Alex Bowman, right? He had a tough year last year. He got injured. He was out for a little bit of this season, but he's definitely has something to prove this year. As we look for drivers who feel like they have something to prove, are they in this hot seat? I'm going to put it out there. I think maybe a driver that has a lot of pressure on him is Ryan Blaney. And it begs the question, is there more or less pressure on you as the reigning champion? Well, pressure can either crush you or it also makes diamonds. So we'll see. Last year, there's been a lot of pressure on Ryan to perform, like we said, with teammates, seeing Joey win the championship and seeing Brad win the championship. So I think that with the strength of his team behind him and all the good support he has, he can double down this year. Okay, double down. So is he in your championship 4? Let's talk about our championship 4 drivers. Yeah, so you want me to go first? Let's go. The one person I think of every other year, and last year they didn't have a great year, this Joey 22 Logano team. Yep, Paul Wolfe and Joey Logano. You're not going to hold those guys down for long. Second, another really strong team. Okay. Kyle Larson, Cliff Daniels, the 5 car, the fastest team on pit road. They roasted us off pit road for the final stop of the year at Phoenix last year. Went out the first car in the championship 4. Thankfully, we had a good enough car to get back by him. You heard me talk about him earlier. Yeah. Tyler Reddick. I am on the Tyler Reddick train all year this year. And last but certainly not least, I'm never going to bet against myself or my 12 team. Ryan Blaney goes to the championship 4 for the 2nd year in a row. Okay, looking at my championship 4, it kind of shadows what we saw last season, and that's 2 Hendrick cars, a Penske car, and a JGR car. Starting with Denny Hamlin, he won the Clash. I think he's motivated. He's running out of years. I think we see him in the championship 4. That does not guarantee him a championship. Then I'm with you, Joey Logano. It's an even year. It's 2024. Yep. We only see Joey Logano in the championship 4 on even years, so I'm calling it now. Then Kyle Larson. I think we're going to see another year like we saw from 2021, where it is a myriad of wins from the 5 team, maybe a championship. And then finally, I'm going Chase Elliott. Winless season, got a lot of fire lit under his butt. And the thing that gets ignored is that team, they were in the Owners' Championship playoffs. So it's not like everything is a miss over there. Chase missed races because of a broken leg, because of a suspension. I think they regroup. They find themselves in the championship 4. So, yeah, sorry I don't have you in my championship 4. It's okay. I think we're going to defend our championship. Just like another guy who's going down to Florida to try to defend his World Series of Asphalt championship, Matt Hirschman.
Ladies and gentlemen, car number 60 from Northampton, Pennsylvania, Matt Hirschman.
And Money Matt is your brand new leader back into turn number 1.
Hirschman, in a dominating performance, has led the entire way.
Big Money Matt Hirschman is your winner here tonight.
Even after missing a month of racing due to an arm injury, Matt Hirschman still ended last year on a high note with a total of 19 wins. He also repeated as one of the EMPA Northeast Driver of the Year. So Hirschman has won 4 of the last 6 World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Modified Championships at New Smyrna. The big question is he going to make it back-to-back? He has a lot of competition this year. Yeah, when you go modified racing and that 60 car rolls out of the trailer, everybody knows who the guy to beat is. And a lot of times, if he's there, you're racing for second.
For the fans who aren't familiar with Matt, what type of racer is he?
Matt Hirschman is like the epitome of class. And what's that Bob Pockrass always says? You kids don't know? Well, you kids don't know Tony Hirschman, his dad. Going back to the 70s, Tony Hirschman's a multiple-time champion at Evergreen Speedway and a 5-time NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion.
Ooh.
Not only is he one of the best modified drivers to ever do it, he's also maybe the best modified mechanic to ever do it. That's what these guys do for a living. Okay. They work on modifieds. They have a Hirschman's garage up in Pennsylvania. I've been there a couple times. It's that's what these guys do. And talking about winning pedigree, his brother, Tony Hirschman Jr.
Yeah, spotter in the Cup Series.
Yeah, if you watched the Clash this weekend and there was that guy telling Ty Gibbs to not overdrive turn 1, and then he overdrove turn 1, that's Tony Hirschman, a multiple-time champion with Kyle Busch, and now the spotter for Ty Gibbs.
Awesome, and as we're talking talent, another driver who's taking to the NASCAR regional level racing on the short tracks is Joe Gibbs Racing driver William Sawalich.
16-year-old William Sawalich.
William Sawalich in his ARCA Menard Series East debut. Gonna go to victory lane.
Checkered flag will come out for William Sawalich.
His third ARCA Menard Series East victory.
William Sawalich has dominated this race.
William Sawalich wins at the Bristol Motor Speedway and clinches the ARCA Menard Series East Championship.
There you got to look at William Sawalich's stats from 2023. He's the defending champion in the ARCA Menard Series East.
Yeah, and when you're in that Joe Gibbs Racing ARCA car with veteran crew chief Mark McFarland, you have no option but to be successful. So the question isn't, is he going to win or when is he going to win? It's how many is he going to win this year?
Yeah, expecting big things out of William Sawalich in 2024. I think we're going to see him win more than he did last year. I think we'll see at least 5 wins from him. To your point, JGR wins in any series they're in. Not only do we get to see him compete on the ARCA side, again, he'll be back in a truck for Tricon Garage for a handful of races. And then the big deal is that he's making his Xfinity Series debut later in the year, though. He doesn't turn 18 until October.
Yeah, so when you hear the name William Sawalich and you see him in the trucks in Xfinity and dominating the ARCA Series, you can know that you heard about him here first at Around the Track.
Yeah, and you can actually check him out this weekend at the World Series of Asphalt. He'll be racing down there, along with a lot of other talent, including the Catalana family. This is a mom and her 3 sons racing down in Florida.
Yeah, she actually has 5 sons, all with all their names start in T, but they bailed me out. We just won, so if you follow along with me at all, we just won the Indoor Auto Racing Series Championship, and I couldn't have done it without the Catalanas. We broke a fuel injection on Saturday right before qualifying. They had an extra one. They came over. They helped us get our stuff back together. This is a great upstate New York racing family.
And if you want to learn more about the Catalana family, you can check out NASCAR.com.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation.
Holy cow!
As the white flag waves here at Around the Track, I've got another nugget for you this week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, and we've established that Ryan loves nuggets. This one's about William Sawalich. We've talked about him earlier in the show, but this one has to do with his nickname. First of all, did you know he had a nickname?
I did not know he had a nickname.
Any guesses?
Hopefully it has something to do with nuggets.
Kind of. The Raging Rooster.
The Raging Rooster?
The Raging Rooster. Here's how he got it.
So I raised chickens. I didn't raise roosters, but you can't be called the chicken because that's kind of not cool. I've always had an interest in, I don't know, birds for some reason. And I'm an animal lover. And I raised my chickens like pets. I didn't raise them for food or anything.
You don't eat their eggs?
Well, I'd eat their eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the best eggs you can get.
So he didn't really cover where the raging part came from, but I'm hoping that we'll see a little rage from him. He'll get a little spicy on the track this year.
You better show some rage with a nickname like that. But like we talked about last week with Regina Servant, these young guys have to figure out how to toe that fine line between being the Raging Rooster and gaining respect in the garage.
Well, thanks for joining us this week. A lot of great action on track this weekend. We can't wait to see you back here for Around the Track next week as we preview the 66th running of the Daytona 500.